Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are just getting ready for Game 3 of Week 3 here with Sharkbait HooHa on the blue side versus Forces of Nature on the red side. And Forces of Nature continuing the trend of every team in this league having to play with a sub. And because the Xmas tree is unavailable this week, so we're going to have Ghost32 stepping in, who is I think, ADC and jungle player. So we're going to see how this goes. And we are in draft. I am joined here by Thrifty Senpai himself.
How you doing, Swift?
Awful, I lost. How about you?
Awful because I fed, but at least we won.
It's amazing how that works.
Yeah.
Welcome to the SBL where you feel bad 90% of the time.
Yep. There's one thing
so...
I'll guarantee. If you somehow manage to make it through an entire season of the SBL and don't feel bad about yourself at some point, probably have mental issues.
Alright, so these bans going nice and fast. We see Ari and Nar being taken away from the Forces of Nature, Shyvana and Lulu being taken away from Sharkbait HooHa. Not too surprised by any of these bans so far. Mavstrip's been playing some mean Lulu. Dubdrum has been playing some great Shyvana. The Nar and the Ari may be a little more surprising, and Nautilus, the third and final ban. That's really the only one I'd expect to see against Forces of Nature. What do you think of this Ari and Nar ban?
I'm very surprised by the Ari ban. I know Blab has been playing it a little bit, but
I would expect to see his Orianna banned well before his Ari.
Yeah,
although
that's
that
like
could be a first pick option for Vivarets.
Yeah, I would say if they end up first picking it, that would make sense for that because it's quite possible he's not very comfortable in the Ori versus Ari matchup. See, there's the Orianna ban against him, so we see a Fizz pickup here.
There's a uncommon first pick.
Yeah, no, that's pretty unusual. Fizz, as we know, as may also realize, he is a very snowbally champ. He has a lot of very strong pressure that he can bring. However, he's very niche in what teams he can actually go into. Otherwise, even if he gets large, he can still end up having a very small presence come late game.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what role that goes into. Sharkbait HooHa is definitely the team with the most players I don't know well, so I really have basically zero clue where that's going to go.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we had a good idea of them going into the beginning of the season, but they've seen that switched out a lot, so kind of hard to guess. Looks like we're hovering the Saber. Saber's a pretty standard pick in the AD carry, not as popular since the nerf, but we'll see here what else they try to pick to go with that. Saber Leona, pretty strong, solid bot lane. So where do you think that Fizz is going to go, actually? There's 3 positions they can go.
I'm going to wait till I see a few more picks here. But assuming this ends up being Ghost32 on ADC for Forces of Nature, I really like that Sivir pick. Don't have to be your team's star, even if it accidentally happens sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, you have the auto attack reset. The boomerang can do a lot of damage. You get the attack speed up, so you can do a lot of damage, and the ult lets you run people down. But even if you're just, doing part of your game, you can burn through a lot and help out everyone else. Just give the ult, give the move speed, run people down. With Leona, that gives you a lot of initiation.
And a Xin Zhao and a Caitlyn coming out for Sharkbaits. Xin is quickly turning into one of the big meta picks, apparently.
Xin Zhao, yeah, I mean, he's pretty powerful as far as Devourer patch goes. He can do a lot of damage with it. He gets the knock up faster. Overall, pretty nasty package.
And a little bit of trolling coming to Forces of Nature, but I definitely expect to see that Shen that was covered earlier get locked in. Zazimas has been having good luck on that so far this season. And that's actually one of the things I would have considered banning against this team. Looks like they're going to go for Gragas and Shen. So a very low damage team comp coming out of Forces of Nature. That's a little bit worrisome if they end up falling behind it all.
Yeah, it is worrisome, but Gragas is one of the jungles who can pick up a good amount of damage and still be he can kind of be an off tank with the Shen and Leona combination. They can pick up a lot of tankiness, and the Gragas can hover towards a more aggressive damage build, going into like a Roa into a Zonius build, where he gets a good chunk of AP, so he has some good damage.
And Vibrette auto locking that Vladimir, and Thresh going to be the last pick there. So, a interesting team coming out of Sharkbait HooHa. I don't see a whole ton of synergy on that team.
Oh no. It seems like a lot of it's we're just gonna pick champs that are good in each of these roles. It seems really odd. It looks like the Fizz is going to be the mid lane, just based off the summer spells right now. But yeah, it's just. I mean, you have Zen and Fizz, which like the dive. Caitlyn kind of slots into anything. Mainly, it's just the Vlad pick that doesn't match up with the rest of it. Like you have all this team that wants to like dive in, and then you have a Vlad, which I guess can help with the damage amplification, but you really just don't have a lot of AoE CC to let him stick around and do his thing.
Alright, and with this last pick overall, we're going to see Mahamoti Jin. What the fuck? Oh, I am.
Zar Malzahar.
I mean, the most excited pick I could ever see would be Mordekaiser. But Malzahar, he was my boy back in the day. I am a big fan of this champion.
You know, I never really got on the Malzahar train myself. And it looks like I was wrong. It looks like the Vlad is going to be mid lane with the Flash Ghost. I have to say, Malzahar, though, is definitely one of the least expected champions. I would have said if you had to tell me, like, he'd be up there for champs to save throughout the whole season. I would not see play.
Yeah, I'm curious if he was thinking that was going to be a counter pick to the Fizz. I assume that Malzahar does fairly well versus Fizz.
Yeah, he does.
I don't know much about Malzahar versus Vladimir, though. I mean, I have to assume it's not bad for Malz. I'm guessing ward up and just push hard into turrets.
I'd imagine it's in Vladimir's favor.
Okay.
If I had to guess.
We're gonna find out.
Yeah, that's a. I mean, I guess you do have to. Maybe it's one of those lanes that. Actually, you know, I feel like the Vlad will do fine because I totally forgot that Malzahar's ulti doesn't stop through Vlad W. So like if he does it at the same time, you just wasted his W.
Alright, well, we're gonna find out. This
Yeah.
should be a pretty high-level mid-lane matchup. Labur been having a great start to this season after a fair amount of off-season hype. And Viverette obviously being one of the 3 diamonds in this league.
Yeah. No, I could see it because I guess a lot of Malzahar's damage you can't pull with the Vladimir, and once the Vladimir hits his spike, he still has to get in range for Malzahar's point click with the visions. Very interesting to see how that plays out. I'm looking forward to that.
But man, I am still wondering what happens to this Forces of Nature team if they end up falling behind. I just don't know what the damage threat's going to be.
I don't know. I'm excited to see 30 though. I mean, we had him in week 1. He went 6-1-16 with the Leona. Went very hard. Brought a lot of damage.
30's a very good support player.
I'm very excited to see that. We haven't seen Mick on Gragas, so we haven't seen Blab on Malz. And obviously we haven't seen Ghost play at all, so we'll have a lot of fun coming in from there.
His Malzahar, what he's going to do in team fights. I feel like he might not have the best synergy with Skinner. Kind of wants to just sit back, wait for somebody to jump in, and then just stop him with his ults.
Yeah, that's the rest of their comp goes together pretty well, besides the Malzahar pick. But I think it's something that it's like he's kind of comfortable with. And if the matchup's starting to go how, like after thinking about it more, if it is a counter pick in favor of Malzahar, it might be something that he just wants to try to contain Viverette and shut him down.
We will see. So, looking at this bot lane for Force of Nature, Cloth Hibbs, and Failed Destiny, they haven't really done too much so far. they're just going for a pretty safe lane, which I don't think is too surprising with the talent distribution on their team. They don't need to do a whole lot as a lane for that team to win. You know, Caitlyn Thresh, it's very hard to lose that lane.
Yeah.
Alright, so here's our loading screen. Will be in game in just a moment here. So talking about the direction these teams are trending, we've got Sharkbait HooHa at 1-1 currently. I don't remember who they lost to in week 1. They obviously had a nice comeback win in week 2.
Week 1 they lost against Team Saltshaker.
Yes, that's right. I don't remember that game being particularly close either.
It was not.
So this week they're gonna possibly be getting a bit of a step up from WC after they played last week, but they're playing against a sub team. So if Sharkbait's looking to be one of the better teams in this league, this is probably a game they feel like they need to win. You know, in general, if your goal is to win the league, you need to beat teams when they play their subs. Axmistry's been playing very well this season. So we will see what Ghost can do in his SBL debut.
Yeah.
He's a guy I've wanted to play all season. I've told him this. He is very much a solo queue mindset kind of player. So I'm very excited to see how he reacts, or if he has no idea how to react.
Yeah, I haven't seen him single play at all, so he's completely going in blind here, as far as I'm concerned. Is he an AD carry main as far as solo queue goes, or?
AD carry and jungle are the two he plays the most, I believe, but he does like to switch it up fairly often.
Okay.
Alright, we are in game.
Pretty standard starts from both sides here.
Yep.
Most likely, I imagine we probably won't see really any extensive level 1 from either of them. Oh, never mind, Payton's going down.
Going in and invade pathing.
Yeah. That's maybe they're hoping just to get an early Zenith Blade into a kill or something. I wouldn't imagine that Shen would want to take the taunt just because that makes his level 1 real weak.
And no wards placed by either of these teams, so no one sees anyone. And man, this has all the makings of an early catch.
Yeah, this is exciting.
Are you ready to see them just fall back at 115?
I'm gonna be really sad if that's what happens.
I am going to be as well. But oh man, they are inching closer.
I want to see the full 5v5 level. Oh, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. They're gonna walk there. This is gonna be awkward.
They just got set a big red. They know they're in there. This is a 5v5. It looks like Forces of Nature are slowly disengaging. There's tons of wards going down, and a hook barely catches 30. And this is going to be completely disengaged by both teams. And you know why? Because both of these teams have awful level 1s.
That is very true.
And it looks like Blabu are going to have a DC. And I just want to give a shout out to Riot Games, who put on a auto language filter in spectate mode, so that I have no idea what Dumb Drum could possibly be saying right now.
Yep, no clue at all.
But fortunately, a nice quick reconnect, so keeping our trend of less than minute-long pauses this season going, which is awesome.
Yeah, no, we've been fingers crossed, but that's we haven't had any true terror pauses. Looks like this one's gonna barely break a minute, but it's not gonna be too much worse.
Well, I'm tilted. This cast is over, boys.
Yeah. You see, you ruined it. If you wouldn't have mentioned it, we would have been done right at a minute, and we would have been gone on with our lives.
And so Ultimately, I guess technically a win for Forces of Nature, as they only popped 2 trinkets compared to the 4 pops.
Well, 30's going to come into lane missing about 150 health, so that is also kind
You
of nice
know,
for them.
sometimes it's best to be playing from behind because it opens you up to playing like a man. I had a game today where I played Insect Tristana, and I would have never gotten some of those kills if I wasn't behind trying to make my way back in. So I appreciate 30 going for the Chinese mentality there. And laning phase has begun. And I have this bad feeling we're not going to see any kills in these lanes.
Yeah, it's most of these lanes. There's not a lot of kill pressure unless somebody messes up. I mean, Shen's super safe, but he doesn't have a lot of kill pressure on Fizz. Bot lane, maybe we could see something. 30 likes to put out some of those plays like we've seen him in the other weeks.
Yeah, 30 likes to be aggressive, so we could see it in that direction. Ghost has a lot of outplay opportunity with his spell shields. Or, maybe actually he has a lot of lack of outplay potential, because it's more about if you miss that spell shield than anything. And Phil Dustin's going to bait out the first spell shield of the game, and now 30's going pretty deep on the cloth hips, who's going to just net 90 count that out. And ultimately, just a little bit of mana going for all these guys. And no one dead yet. Oh, sad day. Nice big lane being built up in this bot lane for Failed Destiny and Hibs, though. We'll see if they can get any pressure once they hit that tower. And Ghost is actually playing this very aggressive, but Hibs going to respect 30 and not fight. I think they could have forced the trade onto Ghost there.
So now that the junglers are starting to finish up their routes, though, we might see some action. Dub Jump moving towards the mid lane. Might be able to see our first gank of the game here.
Yeah, Dubdrum had a hell of a week last week. And Xin Zhao should be a champion where he's got a chance to pull some nice things off again. And nice little hook on the 30. We're going to get 1, 2 whole auto attacks out of it. Big, big trades here. And ultimately, still basically even in all these lanes. A slight CS lead for Sharkbait bot lane.
Yeah, top lane as well, even though the CS is even right now, there is 7 minions to 0 on top for top lane. So that will turn into favor for Madam Strip. Good
catch there. The directed camera is sometimes not optimal, but when you have 3 casters watching on different computers, it is what you get.
If we somehow all 3 of us managed to miss something, we did it very, very wrong.
And Madamstrip taking some creep damage there, and Madamstrip actually pops his Ignite on Zazimas. He seems very confident he can win this, and Zazimas is finally starting to back off. This is the definition of a wet noodle play, and Zazimas is going to miss the taunt, and Madamstrip is going to playful trick out, and the flash isn't enough on what just happened in this top lane?
I am astounded that there was not a first blood there. Every single... I am speechless. I cannot believe that there was not blood there. I got so excited, and I was disappointed.
That was... And Madamstrip coming straight back into this top lane, but Zazumas easily taunts out. And now the jungle slap fight's going down, but Failed Destiny's going to get in there with a hook on the Micro. He's getting chunked out. Micro has to flash out, but now Dubdrum being taken very low. Micro out of the fight. Top hips flashing over the fight, but 30 is going to finish off for the first blood. Meanwhile, Madamstrip in the top lane gets a kill. Another kill going out. 1 for 2, and now Failed Destiny's running for his life. Goes 32, goes for a flash, but does not make it. He gets hooked under the tower, and now the creeps are going to try to finish him off. They're going to fail, but Vivaret is not going to pick up an easy kill, and now Failed Destiny's trying to chase this.
Whoa!
This is... Well, so much for no kills in these lanes.
Yeah, no, that happened really fast. We were, nice, peacefully, easy mid game, and then all of a sudden 2 top laners decided to try to slap the crap out of each other, and next thing you know, we have 4 kills.
How did that... I understand the bot lane fight because I watched the whole thing. I don't understand how a top lane fight happened. Strip did not have an Ignite. Zazima had already like disengaged and should have been ready to recall.
He
Then I
didn't
guess he must have
recall
just.
when the teleport came back in, and Strip just came up and then flopped onto him and started fighting.
Well, sometimes that's all League of Legends is about, is popping down and flopping on top of them.
I feel like there's an innuendo I could make there, but I'm missing it.
So across the board, 700 gold lead in favor of Sharkbaits.
Yep,
Nothing
Biz roaming down.
super substantial.
We should have a gank mid here. 3-man.
Oh, and Blabur has no idea this is coming. There goes the fish. But Blabur is gonna kill Vivaret and force a 1-for-1 out of that.
Also, something I just noticed. Vivaret has a Doran's ring on Vladimir. I wonder if that was a misclick or.
Now, Thrifty Senpai, could you give me the rundown on why that's not good on Vladimir?
There's this thing called the blue bar, and it's called mana. And Vladimir doesn't use it, and Doran's ring gives it. There you go.
And actually, a huge trade going on to 30 there. They're gonna force him to chunk through some of his health pots. And it's very rare you see a Leona get caught out enough that you can deal that much damage to her.
Yeah, they're having a lot of trouble down there. With the kill on the Caitlyn, I mean, she already had a pretty solid CS lead, so now she has 500 gold advantage. She's gonna start snowballing it with being such a lame boy.
Yeah, and Caitlyn Thresh is the kind of lane that can really punish you under your tower, too, so.
Yeah, they have so many ways to just get some damage onto you without actually exposing themselves to the tower itself. Get a hook, get a couple autos here and there.
So 1k gold lead for Sharkbait, maybe closer to 900. No moves for Dragon yet. As far as vision goes down, we've got a few more wards out of Sharkbait currently. Only one ward above mid lane for Blabur. Yeah, ultimately just feels like still not kind of going back to nothing happened. You guys gonna wait for an opportunity to force a fight. But Hibbs up BF sword to pickaxe in this bot lane, gonna slowly keep growing that CS lead, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean they have the lane frozen pretty well, and I mean they're just too afraid. Sivers not even level 6 yet.
And there's a hook onto Ghost 32. And Solar Flare is not going to be enough to save anybody's life there. And there goes the hook. Hibbs chasing down 30, but here comes Micro. Exhaust goes on to Hibbs. Exhaust goes on to Micro, but Hibbs not further away. Here comes Zazima's my main. A kill for Zazima, and now they're turning on to Failed Destiny. This is going to be a 1-for-3 in favor.
1 for 2.
Sorry, 1 for 2.
It looks like they should be able to turn Dragon off of that. They have 4 people on that side of the map.
And Zazimas almost has his teleport back up. He may be able to use that to get this wave top lane at the end of all this.
Dub's gonna take, at the very least, steal their red, give them a little bit of pain for getting the Dragon and the kills. Not let them get off totally for free.
But that's overall a good trade. So, looking at how these things are playing out, bot lane's the one with the major gold discrepancy. We're up 69 to 45 CS between Hibbs and Ghost. 45 CS at 11 minutes is very rough for Naked. But Vivaret sees Hero. Vivaret gonna try to kill Hero. He does not want to make a flash play here, and I don't blame him. But Vivaret's trying to stick around. He's gonna watch out. There's a lot of range on that Malzahar Q.
Looks like he's gonna stick around and heal up though. Feels safe enough.
But going back to this bot lane, 47 CS at 11:30. He's got Pickaxe and Berserker's Greaves. But actually, here comes a chance to turn this around. Him being hard engaged on an incredibly easy kill for Ghost 32. It's just he was with some laugh canceling in his top lane. And that's going to really be big for this bottom, though. Ghost was so far behind. Berserker's pickaxe is pretty much a I'm never going to impact this game build. A kill is going to... I mean, he's still down a fair amount of gold for this point in the game, but not as bad as it could have been.
It closes the gap to just about 400. It's not so much the fact that he's down 400 gold now, so much more. It's the fact that
1,000 of it is committed to Berserker's green.
Yeah, exactly. That's the big problem, is that his gold's invested in a non-optimal build.
And it's probably less useful early on Sivir than most AD carries as well.
Yeah, between the auto attack reset and the attack speed she gets with her ulti and the ricochet, it's not nearly as impactful as some other AD carries, like Caitlyn, for example.
Veiled Destiny playing up in this lane a bit, and nothing coming of it. Double Jump showing up to clear a nice ward. There's gold lead only about 600 currently. And man, Ghost popping some of these spell shields very early. He has to be scared of Veiled Destiny after the way this laning phase has started. And Blafour forces, God, that's just so much damage. As soon as he lands on Malefic Visions, he just destroys Vivorite in that mid lane.
He's able to put out all sorts of damage. I'm surprised we haven't seen Xin around mid more often. I mean, he has been a good job of keeping the side lanes warded, but I'm surprised we haven't seen a lot more pressure trying to sweep down and just punish the fact that Malzahar has to lock himself up to go for a kill.
So Mikuro showing up in this mid lane. Got a great explosive cast into Malzahar ultimate that I no longer remember the name of, and an easy kill for Mikuro, who is now being engaged on my Dubdrum, and here comes a teleport out of Madam Strip, but a Stand United, and a failed splash from OG Little Say. He goes down. Madam Strip's going to try to salvage the situation, but Blafour putting out a lot of damage. 30 and Ghost showing up just in time to secure another kill for 30, who is 3-0-2, is by far the best score on his team.
Oh, that was a beautiful cast. And also just let you know, it's another grasp as Malzahar ulti. So. Or if you prefer the more colloquial dick versions, that also works.
And Blafour incredibly greedy. But he can afford to be. He's got 2,300 gold to spend. Man, look how much damage he was doing before he spent 2,300 gold. That is never something you want to see in this game.
And he's going to go straight for the Leandries. He's going to do the missions are going to do a ton of damage, every single one of them, every single tick proccing Leandries.
Now, folks, League of Legends aren't real. But we like to try to make them close anyways. And Zazima's going to start laughing for no reason. He's going to be able to taunt his way out of that one. And this is the Dan we all know and love. And now some good tower pressure coming out in this bot lane. This should be a tower down.
That'll be the first tower in the game.
And suddenly we're looking at a comfortable 1.3k gold lead for Forces of Nature.
Yep, no, that's really good because I mean that's the one lane they're having a lot of trouble with, and that just opens up the map for them. It allows them so they can shove up and they can roam and try to meet with the rest of their team. See if they can convert it into more objectives. Dragon's up in a minute, for example, so. Be interesting to see where they try to go from here.
Yeah, they have a lot of options open. See how they feel about their power spikes and what they feel they should fight. So, looking at these gold differences again, none of these gold leads too substantial. Biggest lead is 30 over Hibbs, over Failed Destiny. And actually, Zazimus is gonna flash out of that one. I'm not sure that was necessary. But Dragon is up. Zazimus has an ultimate available. Strip does not have any way to get to this fight if it breaks out. So I expect to see a Dragon attempt coming here. And Zazima's backing off nice and far. He's looking for an ultimate. And Mikro is now going in, but Mikro engages onto a trap. CC going down, Explosive Cast to completely disengage this fight. Zazima's makes it in, and the first kill goes 32, kills OG Little Saint. And Forces of Nature are chasing this fight hard. Vivaret is about to go down. And he's actually going to flash and ghost out, but not enough. Mikro with the body slam to pick up a second kill. And now Blabour turning onto Hibbs. Blabour, you can't solo that, man. Oh, but Hibbs with the super aggressive net is going to go down. Now Failed Destiny gets taken out by the Malefic Visions, and somehow Sharkbait HooHa turned a bad thing into something worse and goes 0 for 4, and they're going to lose 2 towers in the mid lane.
And after that, I mean, they're probably going to convert Dragon off that. They're probably going to get this done so fast that they'll be able to go and do Dragon right after that. That's 3 objectives off a single fight.
Madam Strip is going to pressure a second turret in the top lane. But I don't think a Trinity Force Fizz is going to be enough to take that second tower down before anyone gets there.
That's just absolutely brutal. Not only do they lose the fight, they're going to get 3 objectives to 1.
That is just rough stuff.
I've been very impressed though by Mikro's Gragas this game. Like, I mean, his score is not the greatest thing ever. Like 3, 2, and 5 is a solid score, but not amazing. But his casks have been on point. Every single one of them have been just placed beautifully.
Yeah, I agree. Some great ult with that explosive cast immediately as Viva's pool fell off earlier. It was very impressive. And that's a cocky play to make, you know. When you try to time something like that, you're saying, I am positive this is going to work because everyone is going to think I'm an idiot if it doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, even if like you're not even positive it's going to work, it's still a very high risk play. I mean, it's just if you time it wrong, just by even a half a second, you threw a casket of Vladimir in his pool, and he just gets away free. And not only did he get away free off the gank, but you're also down a ton of pressure because you don't have that ulti. Oh. They might be able to catch some people out here in the jungle.
And Mikro gonna show up to secure his red, and now Strip going to fail that first half, but 30 as Azima's going over the wall. Now here comes Mikro. Explosive Cast is going to knock them away, but Vivaret is going to go down here to Mikro again, who seems to be channeling his inner Master Splinter and securing all of the kills this game.
I say, of course, right as we mentioned it, and we start praising him for the barrels, it's like Mick was listening and decided to just crush our hopes and dreams and had to have one just barely less than perfect barrel finally. But nonetheless, he still was able to secure them a kill, so not bad at all. And they'll probably be able to convert another tower off this.
And that was just a beautiful fight with 3 members of Forces of Nature jumping over a wall into Fog of War because they are that far ahead they can feel confidence about it.
Yeah, I mean, well, they knew Caitlyn was on the bottom half of the map as well, so they knew that most likely, if the worst comes to worst, they were going into a 3v3 where they had the health advantage.
Now we see a little good old-fashioned bush baits.
Oh man, Fnatic here.
And they, moving towards this bot lane, they probably think they could dive this Caitlyn.
Oh yeah, they definitely can. Oh, they're gonna get it. Here it goes.
Here it goes.
I was expecting Malzahar just to flash ult for it, honestly. I was ready for it.
Yeah, a little on the hunt. I think they could have closed that gap, but I don't blame them for wanting to save major moves for an objective play and not just a single solo kill with creeps a little ways out.
Yeah, I mean, even with just that one kill, it didn't guarantee them anything, so I think it was wise that they did not blow everything for it.
And Strip, once again, going to try to fight Zazimas. Every time these two see each other, they are going hard to fight. Madam Strip is going to chum the waters, but now he's got to run because here comes Mikro. And another awesome explosive cast. Manstrip counting down his playful trickster. There are 3 seconds to go. 2. No, there it is. Mikuro gets the kill though, because he does not get the first jump over the wall. And this is just starting to fall apart for Sharkbaits.
Oh,
But a big hook on a Blaboor, and it looks like the Force of the Nation is going to try to commit to this anyways, but they are getting shredded apart. They have no Mikuro, but they're still going to kill Failed Destiny to start this fight off. This is a straight 4v5. Mikuro is roaming out. A double kill for Ghost 32, and Vibrat is being destroyed here. And Mikuro is going to try to go under this tower. Double kill for him, and Madam Strip shows up to try and clean up this fight. And he's got to be careful on this chase. There's a lot of damage that can come out from this Blaboor if you run into him. And Blaboor really, really wants to turn this. But ultimately a 2 for 2 in what was very close to a 4v5. But that will let Sharkbaits relieve some of the pressure that's on their side of the map right now.
Yeah, that was a little too greedy from them. Zezimus ran up just like right into their team when he was super low. He just died for nothing. He should have probably just walked out. They're trying to come back and help out. But either way, it definitely could have gone worse for either team.
Yeah, absolutely. That was really close to turning into a massacre in both directions.
All it took was one champion from either side. If they would have gone down, the other team could have just cleaned them up easily. Looks like we'll come in for another brawl soon with the Dragon coming up in a minute. Both teams are going to try to contest division. Key wards down.
So, looking at some of these scores now that we're fair ways into this game, Ghost 32, despite his pretty bad laning phase, is only down 8 CS and he is up kills. Forces of Nature, even when Ghost maybe hasn't been playing the best, has been able to still funnel the appropriate gold into him.
Yeah, no, he's done a great job of just being where he needs to be in a team fight. I think he's realized that he's not fed. He's not going to be he's not going to be the main component, but he's just made sure to be with his team, group with them at the right time. He's been trying to keep up with this farm as well.
And
overall,
his team is generating so much pressure for him that it's easy to just sit outside the fight, toss him the boomerang, let some blades bounce, and get some good DPS out of him. And this is going to turn into a 3-0 Dragon lead for Forces of Nature.
Yeah, despite the fact that the gold lead shrunk down to only about 2.5, the third Dragon's really big. With the extra move speed, it allows them to rotate faster. And with the Sivir ult, I mean, that also multiplicatively stacks. And it just kind of helps fold into their overall game plan.
And now we might see some engage going in this jungle here. 30's going to pop the Solar Flare. Flare of Destiny pops out. Dub Drum is going to X to the Z everyone away from this. And now we see a little bit of a siege forming out of this tower. This is going to be a tough team to siege on. Sivir being such a low-range AD carry, they're going to need to rely on Blaboor to get some good poke off before a fight engages. Unless Mikuro can pull off another snipe.
Yeah, it's one thing to never underestimate in a siege. A good Gragas barrel, your carry steps up a little too far, the next thing you know, your AD carry's in the middle of the enemy team.
As Zemus is going to go try to apply some split pressure during all this, he has both his forms of teleport available currently.
Yeah. Something to mention, Madden Strip is pushing mid out right now, but he does not have teleport. It'll be interesting to see if he actually does continue to show that pressure farther up.
And here comes Mikuro, an explosive cast, knocks Destiny at him, and him is just flashing out, running for his life. But then stopping, he doesn't seem to know what he wants to do. Mikuro is on a rampage. Somehow Failed Destiny makes it out of this fight, and knows that Zemus needed.
See, that's what I was talking about right there. I mean, they didn't respect the Gragas barrel at all. They pushed up too far. They had two people that couldn't show up for the fight, and
they
just
thought everyone had backed off completely, and they just underestimated Fog of War, I think. And that was all it took. Mikuro just on point completely. He used to play Gragas mid back in its heyday, so it looks like those mechanics on point. And a Chum the Water is going to go ahead and knock out Mikuro, but can't engage on that, man. That's Mikuro. So, looking at these teams, Ghost, Labour, Zizemas all sitting on 1,300 plus gold currently. We'll see if they want to do much before backing.
I think they want to try to push a little bit more of their advantage into this bot jungle while they're all down there. They have a big wave coming up. I mean, they'll have about 10 plus creeps coming in. They'll probably try to siege for another wave, get some more damage in, then go back and buy.
Fizz and Caitlyn to the top lane, and without Caitlyn there, it's going to be very tough for Sharkbait to hold this tower.
Yeah, their wave clear is basically non-existent. I mean, Vi can clear the waves, but he has to get up in front.
Looks like they a little too scared to pressure this.
Yeah, I wanted to see Vlad threaten the Vladimir so much more, because the Vlad has to get so close to clear those waves fast. They could have easily just put a ton of damage onto the Vladimir or even killed him.
Yeah, but Vlad choosing to respect the Thresh. Can't say I blame him. Dubdrum currently in the mid lane, so they should have more of an opportunity to try to make something happen here. All ults are up.
Yeah, I don't like what Dub's doing. Dub needs to be with his team.
And now,
I mean,
Mikuro is getting a good zone off. A lot of damage. Solar Flare going deep. Now 30 going in. Pip destroyed. Now Viveret's going to be the next to fall. Madam Strip trying to teleport in, but no one finishes off this tower. Strip is in. 1 for 2 in favor of Force of Nature. Now Madam Strip going in. He is going to try to kill Babur. He's going to succeed, but he's going to go down himself. And Dubdrum is just now getting to the fight. He flashes, completely misses the Crescent Sweep. Dubdrum dies. 1, 2 for 4 in favor of Force of Nature. And Ghost is trying to finish this one off. And a 2, 4, 5 in favor of Forces of Nature, who are going to get this inhibitor tower and maybe the inhibitor. 4 seconds on a Caitlyn spawn.
This is what I'm talking about. They are not respecting their comp and their ability to dive under them. This is twice now that both times they've had 2 people away. One of them doesn't even have a chance to get there until 20 seconds after the fight started, and they can just go deep and just kill everyone, no problem. And for that, they're going to lose 2 towers and inhibit 28 minutes.
And Viverat is going to be home guarding in. He wants to get something out of this, but he is not going to succeed. And the best part for Forces of Nature, they have a minute and 20 till Dragon. They have the bot lane inhibitor, far from Baron. Forces of Nature has the full playbook open. I think they're going to prioritize this Dragon because they're already at 3, and getting that 4 really puts a timer on the game.
Oh yeah, no, there's no reason for them not to contest this 4th Dragon. They have the Supers bot lane. It's only a minute up on it. It's just a quick and easy next objective, and with that, 5th Dragon is a game-ending objective. I mean, it is just as strong, if not stronger, depending on the situation, as a Baron.
So, going back to this Malzahar for the first time in a while, he went for a Zhonya's Hourglass as his second item. Is the mid lane expert here? What do you think of that? But actually, no, Dubdrum is going in. 30 is a little deep here, but Explosive Cast buys some time, and most of Forces of Nature are here. But Zizema's not started teleporting yet. Dubdrum goes down the first kill of this fight, but this is an outnumbered fight, and Forces of Nature are going to bail completely out of this. Zizemas had no way of getting into that fight. And that should give Dragon over to Sharkbait HooHa.
Yeah, what I want to see there is I want to see them try to rotate and try to get up another objective at least convert the top tower or something, not let them get that Dragon for free. But to come back to your previous statement, I think the Zonius is a fine pickup. Zonius is really good against their team. He's got an 80 Fizz and a Xin Zhao that are both going to be trying to dive onto his face. It gives him a lot of protection. It blanks Fizz ultimate. I think it's very, very powerful in this situation. On the other hand, something I don't like as much is the fact that he turned that Chalice into an Athene's. I feel like he could have spent that money a lot better at this point of the game. The Athene's power is really all in the early laning phase because it gives you that sustained mana regen. And he doesn't need that as much right now. At this point, you can all your sieges, you can use blue buff.
It's a great chase for the ages going down onto Zizemas, who has to flash his way out.
Ooh, the Leda Heda.
The only thing I'm surprised about is that Dan didn't stop running to laugh during that. So So reassessing a bit here, we've got about a 4.5k gold lead for Forces of Nature. Bot lane inhibitor still down for a little bit here. Probably about a minute and a half. But fortunately for Sharkbait, they do have Scuttle North, so Forces will not be able to pressure Baron too hard.
It looks like they're going to try and bait it.
A complete Baron bait here. And there goes it on the hunt. A Solar Flare is only going to hit Dubdrum. Dubdrum's Crescent Slice, not enough to disengage him. Ghost 32 is legendary, and him knocked back again. Now, Madam Griffith's Deep, his knockup does not do a thing. Double kill for Micro, and everyone on Sharkbait is falling down. 0 for 4, and a flash for Flash. And Forces of Nature are actually going to prioritize a second inhibitor over Baron Nashor.
I like that play.
I agree.
With 2 and getting a second to him, it's not the same as getting 1. Like once you get 2, it's really easy to force any objective because that's just so many supers you have to deal with. A lot of times it's going to pull 2 people away. That makes for an easy Baron and easy third inhib. But I really, really liked that bait they had. They knew they had the scuttle, so they walked in and hid around the side of the Baron pit so that they thought that they were actually doing Baron.
I didn't realize this until that creep wave came in, but Zazima's my main actually has the Banner of Command. You know, that might be the best way to play a skill push Shen. No item's going to let him take towers that effectively, so just bring a creep that can.
I love it.
Zazima's going with the next level builds here. Unfortunately for him, though, there's only one wave he can currently promote.
It is a joy to ever see any of those items like that, though. To see the Banner of the Command or the Zizzarat Portal, it's always fun to see those additional siege items come into play.
We'll see what Forces of Nature choose to go down next. Currently have a 7k gold lead. That bot lane inhibitor did just spawn. So Zazimus doesn't have his Banner command up for another little bit here.
I think they just go for the Baron. They already have the vision set up all across the top lane jungle. I mean, they know that they don't have much set up. They can clear out that one pink ward that they know is there, and then just go for the clear Baron.
Folks,
I mean,
Sinjot showed bot. Teach you all a lesson real fast about the first lesson you'll ever learn in pre-made League of Legends. It's when you show bottom lane, the enemy team rushes Baron. When you're the Smite and you show bot lane, they absolutely rush Baron. And sadly, Forces of Nature actually not going to really rush this Baron down, that I think they could have had.
Oh, they definitely could have. I mean, it's taken them, this has been 12 seconds now. If that team couldn't kill Baron in 12 seconds with that amount of damage, I'd be very confused.
And some weird rotations coming out here. There's going to be a free tower for Sharkbaits. And that just feels like a very rare 30 seconds or so of misplay. But a hook onto Blabour, but 30 with the Solar Flare, going to try to zone. Zazima's teleporting in onto Ghost. A lot of damage going out, but Ghost 32 going to be the first to fall. Dubdrum now goes down to Mikaro. And this fight looking good for Sharkbait HooHa, who now get on top of Blabour. They should be able to finish this fight off. A double kill, a ace. Wow. Just some classic miscommunication comes out there. And now, looks like Sharkbait HooHa are going to shoot for mid lane inhibitor, which they should have no problem getting. But they have to be careful that they don't get Baron up on the backside of this. But actually, here come Mikaro and Ghost. They might try to rush down a fight here. Nope, only one home guy. A little too late for anything to happen there. And that is a huge play for Sharkbait, who are going to cut this gold lead to just about 1,000.
That was absolutely brutal to see. They just got the perfect pick on Blab. They just had them on the back foot the entire time. They never really had a good chance to turn around and deal damage. They killed both the carries so fast.
As Zima had to use his Stand United onto Ghost instead of a frontliner, and normally in these fights when Shen's ulting your backline, doesn't turn into a good fight. And that was a good example of that being the case. And suddenly, somehow, Sharkbait's in a very good position in this game.
Yeah, no, it was very surprising. Right as it was looking like Force of Nature had things started just to get wrapped up and the noose was tightening, they just got destroyed. They lost the fight, lost 2 towers, lost an inhib, and bam, we have a pretty even game again.
And this has the potential of being a big-time dragon fight. And it looks like Failed Destiny gets way split from his team. An easy secure for Forces of Nature. Now Failed Destiny being destroyed. Zazima's going for the backline. No, Zazima's is very deep. He is the first person to fall in this fight. And On the Hunt finally goes out, but Madam Strip is going down. Mikuro and 30 are very low on the other end of this fight. Mikuro trying to solo him. And a very awkward fight comes out of Forces of Nature here. They have some very strange feelings. Blabour does not have a flash. He's going to hope for the best here, and it's not going to happen. And despite securing Dragon, this is a 1 for 4 in favor of Sharkbait, who are now barreling down mid lane with super minions.
Do you think they're going to try and finish? Like, they probably can.
Oh, this is going to be so close, but I think they can pull this. They have Caitlyn. She has Infinity Edge, Shiv, Last Whisper, the components of a Bloodthirster.
Yeah, they're going to be able to finish in time.
12 seconds on Zazimas. That is no time at all for this Caitlyn. The first tower is going down. Zazimas in 6, Mikuro in 7. That's not enough time. The second tower is down. The Nexus is being chunked. Zazimas is in. He's too late. The comeback. The crazy SBL comeback. Sharkbait HooHa win this game.
This is the SBL. This is how it is. This game right here is SBL.
That is crazy. I cannot believe that comeback just happens.
I honestly feel like there was absolutely no reason for them to come back and win that game, but they somehow did. Props to them for making that happen.
Let's see if we can pull Failed Destiny in here real fast for an interview. He is one of our rookies. I really thought his hooks were what turned that game around. There was
User was
huge
moved to
hook
your
out of the
channel.
door. And there he is, Failed Destiny pulled in for an interview. Congratulations. That was a hell of a comeback.
Thank you. It was really amazing. And the team actually worked really well together to pull that off.
What were your comms like at that point when you had 2 inhibitors down? Most teams are just on tilt and talking about next week at that point.
Actually, the most important thing that happened was we were waiting for Viv to get the combo with Rylai's and Ruthie Andrews. Once we knew he had that, the team fights were going to start going our way. So we were just waiting. We knew we were losing. We knew we couldn't do a lot. We were waiting for our power spike.
Well, shit, it worked. I mean, you had really some MVP plays in that game. That hook onto Blabour just below Baron that gave you guys the inhibitor ultimately. That hook into Dragon Pit where you really set up a huge zone for your team.
Yeah, those were the 2 plays that actually, I think turned the game around. We had vision on Baron, and we knew they were coming around, and I saw Blab, and I was like, guys, I can get a hook on him. So I got a hook on him, and our entire team dove their back line, and then it just went our way. We took inhibitor, and from there we knew we had a shot. 4th Dragon was coming up, which isn't a huge deal, but then when it came to the Dragon fight, I knew there wasn't a lot we could do unless we distracted them. So I hooked in knowing I had flash and could flash out of the pit. And I barely survived, and then I could pop some health for the team with Locket of the Iron Solari. And we just distracted them enough and had Vlad do tons of damage, and we had Zin do tons of damage. And then Caitlyn just poked from outside. So it was an amazing fight for the entire team. And it was very chaotic, but it was very well coordinated.
So that fight is going to push you guys to 2-1. Looking forward, you are one of the 3 teams at 2-1. Looking forward to this next week. You guys are going to be playing Thomas the Dank Engine with Thrifty Senpai. Have you guys been planning ahead at all, or do you just still kind of take this week by week?
Right now, we're just taking it week by week. We have a couple different team comps that we really enjoy. They surprised us a little bit in pick and ban, but at the same time, we expected some of them. I was almost expecting them to ban my Thresh because right now it's all I've been playing. But if they're going to let me have it, I'll play it. And one thing I want to point out is I think we actually threw pretty hard in that game. We were ahead in lane, like we were zoning really hard bottom lane. We were ahead in CS, pretty much everywhere. So I'll have to go back and watch the gold. But we just got caught out pretty hard.
A lot of it. Yeah, you guys got caught out a couple of times, just not respecting the large pick potential their team had. But I mean, hey, you guys still were able to throw it back around. Vlad and Fizz just wrecked their backline, and you did an amazing job costing the disruption to give them the time they needed. So,
yeah,
congrats. It was a well-earned win.
Congrats on your win, and as one of the rookies, you guys typically don't get a whole lot of respect. You're starting to kind of force that on yourself, so good luck next week.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And that is going to do it for week 3, folks. So, as always, AJS0 here with Thrifty Senpai. We will catch you next week, Tuesday, 7 p.m.